Hi, Serena. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you, Eliza Jane?
I'm good. We are back in the studio today to go over our top 10 seller questions. Um, and I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Amazing.
Okay.
Okay, so how much is my home worth right now?
This is probably the number one question that I get from sellers. So the answer is your home is worth what today's market says it's worth, which means it's not what the Zestimate is saying. It's not what your neighbor listed for, not necessarily what you paid for it plus what you put into it. So when I determine value, I'm looking at the recent comparable sales in your area, what's currently competing with your home, like what's pending, location, condition, upgrades, lot size, views, amenities, if there's irrigation, and then what buyers are actually responding to. So there's a big difference between listing price sometimes and market value. And my job is to figure out where those two meet and how to be the most competitive with that and put you in the best position available. So, what I would do is, again, value your home and come up with a perfect strategy to get you going.
Okay, and with that being said, is now actually a good time to sell?
It depends on your situation. So, it's not just the market. People hear it's a buyer's market or it's a seller's market and automatically think that that determines whether they should move. But what I want to know is why are you selling? Where are you going? Do you have equity? Are you buying another property? And what's your timeline? For some people, waiting 6 months makes sense. And for others, waiting 6 months is going to be detrimental. So it's really about you and your situation. However, I call this homing season of what we're going into. And in our area, it's very common for people to start looking right after Labor Day weekend. It's like they want to get in before the holidays. So there's always real estate moving. There are some great investment opportunities right now. And there are, if your house is ready to go and we have it priced well and we have everything ready on it, then it could sell quickly too. So that's the strategy that we would decide on.
Amazing. So, with that being said, if I wanted my house to sell faster, what should I do prior to listing my house?
Please do not immediately go to Home Depot and spend $20,000 before you call me. You call me, we're going to walk through the home and then to tell you where your money is actually going to make a difference. Usually, we're looking at things like decluttering, deep cleaning, touching up paint, improving curb appeal, and then fixing the obvious maintenance issues, and then making each room feel intentional. So sometimes a seller thinks that they need a brand new kitchen when we really just need $500 worth of little changes. So the quick takeaway is call me before you start to do this.
Amazing. So, once I have all of my little fixes done, how do you actually determine what my house is going to be priced at?
Well, I don't pick a number just because it sounds good. We're going to build a pricing strategy. So we're going to look at the comps. So again, the sold properties, pending properties, active competition, days on market, price reductions, condition, and location. But I'm also going to pay attention to the search ranges and then do my research on that. So buyer search and price brackets. So sometimes the difference between 899 and 905 isn't just $6,000. It's the way it changes the way you can see a property. So say we put you in right at 900, that's going to put you in two different searches. So from 850 to 900 and 900 to 950. And so it's going to give you more buyers, more eyes on the property. The goal isn't necessarily to start with the highest possible number. It's to position the property where we can create the most buyer interest and ultimately get the best outcome. The first 24 hours on the market is going to be our very biggest impact. So we really have to take advantage of that. So our quick takeaway on this one is we're not pricing for the house to sit, we're pricing it to sell.
So, once we price my house to sell, how long do you think it will take before somebody snatches it off the market?
Well, I wish I could give you an exact number of days, but nobody can honestly guarantee that. What we can do is look at the average days on market for homes that are similar to yours and then determine on what's realistic. And then also, we're going to compare it with where we were last year. So, what is going on right now and what the trend was last year, and then try to make get you a good idea from there. So the first couple of weeks are incredibly important because that's when your listing is new and you're getting the most attention. So if we're getting showings but no offers, that's telling us something. Usually in the feedback, they're going to let us know exactly what that's telling. If we're getting no showings, that's telling us something too, as in we're probably priced too high. So the quick takeaway is that the market gives us feedback and we just have to listen to it.
All right, so let's get down to the nitty gritty. When all is said and done, how much is it actually going to cost me to sell my home?
This is why I like to do a seller net sheet before we list. So what that is that it's going to, instead of just saying that your house may sell for 600,000, I want you to have an estimate of what you could actually walk with, and it's going to show all of the possible expenses that could come along. So it's not exact, but it'll give you a basic idea. So depending on the transaction, expenses can include your remaining mortgage balance, your title and closing costs, taxes, commissions, repairs, concessions, or other transaction specific expenses. So if we are listing at 600, I'm going to do a net sheet at 600 and then at 690 and then all the way down to 675. That way you know exactly where you are and then where your wiggle room is. And so then you can have kind of your bottom dollar price of what you're willing to do, so there aren't any surprises, or at least there are a few surprises as possible. And every seller's numbers are different. So the quick takeaway is don't just ask what your home will sell for, but ask what you'll net.
Awesome. That makes a big difference to me. I really want to know how much money I'm making off this.
Yes, for sure.
So should I make repairs or updates before selling, or should I just sell it as is?
Again, call me first. And this is completely property specific. So some repairs can make you significantly more money or remove an objection that could scare buyers away. And then other projects, you're wasting your money. They aren't worth the time or the expense. So if you're going to spend something like $15,000 on something and it's only likely to add $5,000 in value, I probably don't want you doing it just to sell, because clearly you're going to lose $10,000. So something selling as is makes perfect sense. And other times, a few strategic improvements can completely change how buyers perceive the property. Something that we're seeing now is that buyers really want it to be clean and they want it to be ready to go. So if you want to get the highest dollar for it, then we need to make some of these little repairs or updates and just walk the property and see what you need. If you just need to sell it as quickly as possible, sometimes people inherit a property, they don't know anything about it, they don't want to do anything with it, then that's an as-is situation. But we need to be ready for inspection objections. So the quick takeaway is we want return on investment and not renovations just for the sake of renovations. And please do not paint every room a different color. I'm asking you right now. Just don't.
Okay, and I need you to be completely honest with me today, Serena.
Okay, I can do that.
What are we going to do if my house doesn't sell? What happens next?
Well, we're going to do a deep dive. We're going to research. Research is so important during this process. So first we're going to figure out why. I don't believe in putting a sign in the yard, throwing some photos up, and then waiting 3 months hoping something happens. We look back at the data. How many people are viewing it online? How many showings are we getting? What's the feedback? Have competing homes sold? Has something changed in the market? And then we adjust. So that might mean marketing, presentation, condition, incentives, or price. So if the house down the street came on 2 weeks after us and they went under contract before us, we need to know why. Is it the same floor plan? Is it similar? Is it in better condition? Or how did we miss the boat on this one? So we're going to look at all of that, and then we're going to adjust as we need to. So the quick takeaway here is if the market isn't responding, we're going to change the strategy, and we're not just going to cross our fingers.
Should I buy my next house before I sell this one?
This is one of those questions where I immediately say, let's make a plan before we do anything. You may be able to make an offer contingent on selling your current home. So you might sell first and negotiate possession after closing. There may be some financing options that allow you to buy before selling. There are several ways to structure this. And so we just need to see which one makes the most sense for you. And it depends on your finances and your risk and what's happening in the market. So this is where we're going to bring in a lender. A couple of different things that I've seen recently is that we get your house ready to go. And this is where I come in first. We get your house ready to go and see how quickly it'll go. If it's something that we know will sell quickly, then we just have photos ready. We have everything ready to where when we make an offer, we can have it listed immediately after, because that's going to make your offer stronger if we have a contingency property. So if it's something that's going to take a little bit longer to sell, then we're going to want to put it on the market and then see what kind of feedback we're getting and how much activity before we look for a new home. So those are a couple different ways. There's also a bridge loan and some other lender options. And so we just see what is going to work best for you. So the quick takeaway on this is selling and buying at the same time doesn't have to be chaos. You just need the sequence figured out first.
Wonderful. So what do you do differently from other realtors to market my home and get it sold?
That is a fabulous question. So selling a home isn't just putting it in the MLS and throwing a sign in the yard. We need professional photos and video. We need social media, short form content, little videos, reels, YouTube, targeted marketing, open houses, agent to agent networking, and a strategy built specifically around what makes that property special. So, something for one that I've done recently, the market, there wasn't really a market, it's a very different home for this area. And so it made more sense to market in Salt Lake and Dallas and Denver and Arizona. So we built a plan around getting our content out there. So obviously we're going to do everything local, but we are also going to push this out to places that may have never even heard of Grand Junction and our beautiful Grand Valley. So at that point in time, we're selling the whole area. But we really just need to be strategic on where we put your home. And this is where, again, I love research. We all love research. And that's what we're going to do to see what's going to work best for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Serena, for sitting down and answering these questions with us today. And we hope to see you here next time for frequently asked investor questions.
Oh, yay. Well, thank you. And so these are the top 10 questions that are being asked most often by possible sellers. So, what the biggest takeaway here is that every house, every property, and every seller's situation is different. So, we really need to take a look at what you need and what your property needs, and then find a plan that's going to work best for you. I like to go in and give you different options and then let you know everything that you're looking at and everything that could happen, and just be prepared. That way you can make a truly educated decision. And then, of course, I want to make it as stress-free for you as possible. So thank you, and let's continue on. You have any questions at all, put them in the comments or give me a call.